For micro-dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Welcome to ASM Assembly Systems here at Productronica. I'm joined by Alexander Hagenfeld. Nice to see you again, Alexander.
Nice to see you, Trevor.
Okay. So lots of new things on the booth this week. I don't know where to start, but let's start at the beginning of the process with the printer.
All right.
Yeah.
And that is a good place to start. So over there on that line, we have our new DEC TQ. Mm-hmm. So it's a completely new printer by DEC. And basically everything inside has been designed from ground up for non-stop production. So it's a very accurate machine. It's extremely fast, very compact, so very small footprint. Mm-hmm. And it's able to run for up to 8 hours without any manual assists.
So the printer's got all these new features built into it. The increase in speed, do you know how you managed to achieve it? What sort of speed does it do, first of all?
Well, it's the whole process that we have optimized inside the printer. So there's an entirely new print head. It's also how we align the stencil to the board. And the way we perform the stroke, and a very important part of it is, of course, how we clean the board, or how we clean the stencil in between. Yeah? So that entire process has been optimized, and we now have a core cycle time of 5 seconds.
That's excellent. Are you still using, is it paper cleaning or is it ultrasonic?
It's still paper cleaning, and part of the reason why we can go for 8 hours is that we have optimized the space for the roll inside, for the cleaning fabric, so it's much larger than what we have on a traditional printer. And that's how we can go those extra hours.
Great. So, moving then down to the pick and place systems, which of course is your bread and butter, or the core of your business. You've made a lot of changes there on the feeder systems. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Right. So that's definitely one of the highlights that we are showing at this year's Productronica. We are for the first time showing the new C-Place auto refill feeder, which is rather unique. So we don't peel the foil back anymore. We cut the foil above the component in the center, and we can automatically then feed components without the foil tension, and it's a very automated system. And what makes it truly unique is that we have 2 tape channels, and that means we can feed 2 components in one feeder. And that gives us a lot of extra time for replenishing material. So at any point in time, we don't have to wait for the current reel to be empty to splice material. We can simply add another component reel to the feeder. And then that means we can group tasks and assign them to our smart operators strategically.
Right. So when reel 1 empties, it automatically takes in reel 2.
Exactly. So it's a seamless transition from one reel to the next. We don't have to splice, so all the problems that are normally associated with splicing are completely eliminated.
Okay, great. So I believe you've also made some further improvements on the process optimization side of the business. Can you tell us a bit about that?
For sure. So we're actually showing the new 5D inline solder paste inspection system. We call it ASM Process Lens. And there are 2 new advancements. So for one, we have a dual lane machine now. Previously we only had a single lane, and the other one is of course the software that comes with it. We call it ASM Process Expert, and it's a self-learning expert system that we want to apply for the entire line. So it used to be limited to the print process. We are now looking at data from the placement machines, and we're also looking at data from AOI machines based on the IPC CFX standard.
Right. Okay. So you're working your way down the line and incorporating more of the process.
Exactly.
Okay. Will you one day take it down into the oven in that type of area?
Our goal is to have a system for the complete S&T line from loader to unloader.
Okay. Great. All right. So we'll look forward to that. That's interesting. One of the things that's key about all this smart factory integration is the learning process. Obviously, I'm sure you found it yourself when you go into factories, you have to find a champion, and he's got to learn it and he's got to adopt it. So I believe you've built up a large academy of teaching data, basically, and videos.
That's right. So we have a new tool. It's called ASM Academy, and essentially it's an online database of videos and information that our customers can access to learn about specific tasks that are required in the factory. So this could be maintenance tasks, but it could also be software tutorials, anything that helps them learn how to use our equipment more effectively.
Right, okay, that's great. So, and then finally I want to just talk about the actually overall monitoring of the factory space. I see you've got a very effective graphic. You've used the booth as an example, but you can see at a glance which machines need attention, which machines don't. Tell us a bit about that and how that drills down into being able to look at things like motors and stuff like that that may need replaced.
Sure. So we have a new tool called ASM Equipment Center. And this is a software, and like you mentioned, we've created a digital twin here of what we have at the booth. So essentially you can create a virtual twin of whatever your factory looks like. All our machine data is readily accessible in the tool. But what's special about it is that we have a direct communication with our machines. So we have a new interface where we are looking at maintenance data directly from all the different sensors and motors that we have inside the machine, temperature, and by monitoring these systems, we can move away from a time-based maintenance schedule. So we're really looking to see when do we need to perform a maintenance task to keep the line up and running.
I think what's important is you're not just looking at the designed life of the motor and saying, well, it's got to 25,000 hours, maybe we should change it. You're actually looking at the performance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Well, lots happening here, Alexander. I want to thank you for giving us a quick walk round through it. I'm sure we'll get more time later to have a deeper dive.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming by.